Daniel. On behalf of the Rainbow Lakes Estates Advisory Board, welcome to the October 17th, 2024 Advisory Board meeting. As a courtesy to others, please silence your cell phones and other electronic devices. If you need to take a call, please step outside. Talking or outbursts from the audience during the meeting will not be permitted. Please take seats if they are available. Board members and guests, if you wish to specifically call upon and speak with an individual in the audience during the meeting, please address the chair first. You do not need to address the chair to speak to other board members or to anyone from the public who is addressing the board during the agenda or general public comment portion of the meeting. This board has not allowed in the past, nor will it allow in the future, personal attacks or insults against Rainbow Lakes Estates staff, advisory board members, or community volunteers. Please keep your comments appropriate. Okay, I want to start with the invocation. Holy One, known by many names and beyond all names, thank you for every seat that has been filled here today. For each mind and heart that fills the presence of this room, we thank you. Only you truly know what we are setting out to accomplish today. We have an idea, a vision, hints, and daily instructions. We have talents, abilities, and time to work. However, only you can see in perfect detail the end of every beginning. Every project, every season, every life. Nothing is ever in vain, for even mistakes and missteps are used for good. Your righteousness transcends all our efforts and understanding. Forgive us our pride, the pride that puffs us up and the pride that threatens to unqualify us. Strengthen our confidence in who you have made us to be. Set us free from comparison in order to work together efficiently. Bless this meeting today, all those present, all the residents, volunteers, and employees of Rainbow Lakes Estates, as well as the lives of those we will encounter afterward. Ready us to make every moment count. Amen. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Tiffany, roll call, please.
Kathy Bryant. Paula Gottlieb. Here. Alan McKay.
Here.
Dallas Sivelin.
Here.
Rico Guzzo. Dan Wilcherson.
Here. Okay. Mrs. Bryan and Mr. Spacuzza are excused absences from tonight's meeting. Okay, and agenda items, public comment. We have nothing, right? You have one? No, we don't have anybody for agenda items and public comment. Alrighty, approval of minutes. I need an approval of the minutes for September 19th, 2024. Does anybody have any questions concerning these minutes? If not, I need a motion and a second needed to vote and approve.
I'll make the motion. I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay. Advisory Committee reports. Vice Chairman, Public Safety Representative, Alan George McKay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Fire rescue statistics from the Marion County Fire and Rescue for Station 14. I am no longer going to break them down as to the different types of medical and the different types of fire. It's not necessary. Medical calls were 54 and fire calls were 6. So we had a total call into the Rainbow Lakes Estates of 60 calls last month. My second point in here is moved now. At the last meeting, we talked about the use of this building or one of our buildings as a disaster shelter. And apparently the cost and liability of it is just too great for us to even come close to doing that. So we did hold the workshop here, and good ideas were brought forward and discussed. Progress was made, but we sincerely missed the public's input. The chairman has made Facebook posts with all of our board members' email addresses in hopes of getting your thoughts and ideas. I didn't receive any, and I don't believe any of our members did either. We really would appreciate if you have things that you think need to be done or you want done differently, you have to let us know. Just complaining on Facebook is not going to get anything accomplished. All that does is just, it vents. We need input here. We need it to be on the public record. I received the following from Florida Department of Transportation. Hope this is from my contact, Michael. Hope your neighborhood fared well through the storm. The state has a large debris pickup mission over the next 2 weeks, but most are now transitioning back to normal work efforts. There's no significant updates to provide for the traffic signal other than we are working on getting the design ramped up after the initial scoping effort from our consultant. There was some commentary on Facebook about the traffic signal, and the issue there is that the time that is being required is because being adjacent to the railroad right-of-way and on a federal highway, we also have very limited space. They don't have a lot of room for them to make wider lanes or whatever else might have to be done. And if anything has to be, eminent domain or anything like that has to be done, then that takes time. And 2 years is the absolute least that it's going to take. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you, Mr. McKay. Buildings and Grounds Representative Kathy Bryant, she is absent tonight. Code Enforcement Representative is a vacant position. Levy County Representative Dan Wilshusen.
I don't have a lot this time. For code enforcement, everything seems to be in shape. We do have 2 properties that we're looking at right now. One of them is currently being occupied by someone in an RV. The other one I'm talking to Chad about, which looks like an ancillary building, but it may be a, what do we call that? A barnuminium. So those are the only 2 code issues we have going on. Roads and maintenance, I wanted to thank Tiffany. You got the corner of 134th and 105th done. That is amazing. The road actually does exist at that intersection again. So the jacuzzi has been removed and the roadway has been returned. As far as public safety, we don't have anything right now out in our area that is worth reporting on.
Right, done. Recreation Representative Paula Golick.
Our open play programs. Tater Tot Tuesdays are from 10 to noon at the community center. It is open to the public. Family game night is the 3rd Wednesday of each month from 4 to 8 p.m. in Youth Center for members of the Youth Center. Pickleball is Mondays and Thursdays at 8 a.m. at Seacliff Community Park. It is open to the public. For more information about these programs, call 352-465-0630 or email rainbow.lakes@marionfl.org. Recreation. The Youth Center is open on Wednesday and Friday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. It costs $5 a year for residents and $10 a year for non-residents. Plan swaps are the 3rd Tuesday of each month at 6 p.m. here in the community center. The next 2 will be November 19th and December 17th, they are open to the public. The fitness center is available 24/7 for members, except on Wednesday and Friday from 8 to 9 a.m. for cleaning. Single memberships are $25, couple memberships are $40, and memberships for children 12 to 17 years old are $10. Children must be accompanied by a legal guardian, and all members must sign in when they use the facility. Tours and registration are available every Wednesday. Call 352-489-4280 to book an appointment. Kayaks are available for rent Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. $25 for the first hour and $5 for every additional hour. They are available to the public. The Ghosts, Ghouls, and Goblins Halloween event will be October 25th from 5 to 9 p.m. here at the community center. Costumes are encouraged. There will be crafts, spooky games, candy in the hay hunt, and a free ticket for a hot dog and drink with canned food donations. It is open to the public. The Fall Craft Festival will be November 9th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Rainbow Lakes Estates Community Center. There will be food trucks, live music, handcrafted items, vendor booths, bounce houses, and more. It is open to the public. The Holly Jolly Christmas Party will be December 14th from 10 a.m. to noon. There will be Christmas card making, a craft station, sugar cookie decoration, pictures with Santa, and more. It is open to the public. For more information about these activities, call 352-489-4280. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Roads Representative Rico Spacuzza is absent tonight. And so we'll move on to our staff report from Pamela Spacuzza, the RLE Community Center Supervisor.
So I'm going to review real quick some of the projects that we have in the budget for this current year. The first thing that we have is the roof of the district office. I have requested quotes, and those are due by tomorrow at 12 p.m. We have $20,000 budgeted for that. The next item is the community center windows. They need to have the gas put back in them, and we have budgeted $25,000 for that, and I will be getting quotes for that within the next probably month. The community center and Seacliff Community Park playground mulch, that will be quoted out in July. The fitness center multi-gym, I'll be requesting quotes on that, and we budgeted $15,000 for that. The Seacliff Community Park playground replacement, we budgeted $30,000 for that, and I'll be requesting a quote that they use the U.S. Communities pricing, so it makes it a little bit less for that. I'm not going to do a finance report at this time because we just started the new budget year. So I'll do a quick rundown of some miscellaneous items. Our monthly supply drive in participation with Romeo Elementary next month, November, is Vienna sausage and Spam. We had a new pool table donated for the youth center from Silver Spring Shores. And we had amusement billiards. They came out and they put it together because it's a slate table. So we got the table for free, but it was about approximately $510 for them to put it together. It's a Gandy. I don't know if anybody knows what that means, but yeah, so. We also purchased a new air hockey table for the youth center, a free throw basketball game, and a dartboard. Some of the things that we're going to be doing in there is we're going to remove the bar. So we have room for the extra items that we purchased for the kids to do. And we're going to be moving the concession into the TV room. And then the TV will go out into the main room on the back wall, basketball side wall, up in the top. So we're going to be taking away the TV room. We also are going to continue working on the flower beds. I hope you guys noticed as you came in, we did some work on those. Once those are finished, we're going to be repairing the drywall. There's an area in the kitchen ceiling and an area in the ceiling in the hallway back here that needs to be done, and Monty will be able to do those things. The rainbow room, or the bridal room is complete. We have 2 more things we want to put up, and then that's completely done. I hope you guys go back and take a look at it. Thank you, Dan, I appreciate that. We're gonna, once we have this room, this building finished, we're going to move over to the Creative Arts Center, and we'll be removing the shelving, so we're gonna kind of mix that in with finishing the flower beds here. So we'll be removing the shelving to prepare to paint the inside. So we'll get started on that. In the spring, we'll be planting some more shrubs, some dwarf or miniature shrubs around the gazebo and then down this wall here. So those are going to be the small ones, so they don't get real big. And then we're also going to be doing full-size shrubs around the district office to finish that out because it looks kind of lopsided and uneven. And that is all I have to report.
Well, thank you, and I'm glad to hear about these improvements and purchases that have been made. Thanks a lot for what you're doing.
Chair, I did have one more question. Do we have a status on the repairs for the dock?
That stuff has been purchased, so we purchased new rails, new caps, and it's just working it into the schedule. We're hoping to get it done before the fall festival, but I don't know if we're going to.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page.
Yes,
Thank
that
you.
was purchased out of last year's budget.
Okay, thanks.
You're
Oh,
welcome.
and last question.
Yes, sir.
Since we started the new budget, financial reports for
That was-
the fourth quarter of last year.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dan. All right, thanks, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Okay, special committee guests. Chad Wicker, the Marion County Municipal Services Director. Sounds like a promotion, but it wasn't, right? Lieutenant Julie Winkle, the Marion County Sheriff's Office, and Tracy Stroud, the Marion County Assistant County Administrator. All right, we'll start with Chad.
At this time, I do not have any updates for the board. I do have updates when we get down, I believe it's under old business for the median.
Okay.
But at this time, I don't have anything.
All right, thanks. And Lieutenant Vowinkle.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me now? Sorry I missed the last meeting. Nothing really to report, everything's status quo. We've had no trending crime out here. Most of what's going on out here is, domestics, mental issues, Baker Acts, Marchman Acts. We do have a trend within Dunellen, but not specifically in Rainbow Lakes, we're having a lot of thefts of trailers. So if you guys have a trailer, make sure it's locked up, hooked to your vehicle. It seems like they're just being taken, like the ones that aren't locked down or hooked to a vehicle. So there's been several of those out within Dunellen. The Sheriff's Office is having a food drive for the Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranch for the Boys and Girls Club for Thanksgiving. If anyone is interested in donating, like boxes of stuffing or potatoes, things like that, we'll have a box at the district. It's through November 18th, or even if Pam would want to have a box, and then I can come pick it up. I think that the Sheriff's Office donates like the meats and things like that, and then they have a little tray for canned goods. That's all, unless you guys have any questions for me.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions?
Lieutenant, I would like to thank you for continuing to patrol as heavily as you have been. I like seeing tickets being written, so write those tickets.
Yeah. They try. I think they typically give more warnings than tickets, but
And I hope the repeat offenders get socked too. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I do have a question. Are the canned food donations for the schools, the Halloween event to get the free hot dog and drink, are those canned food donations going to the sheriff?
No, ma'am, they're going to the Home for the Harvest, I think is the name of it. Bring the Harvest Home, sorry.
Say that one more time.
The county does a food drive, Bring the Harvest Home, and so those canned goods are gonna go to
The
that
county.
food drive, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Thank you, Lieutenant. Yeah. You don't have to sit through the rest of the meeting. I'm sure you have other things to do.
Now, if you want to stay, you're perfectly
Unless you
welcome.
want to hang out.
No, it's okay, I got a 45-minute drive home, so.
Oh, my.
Okay. Tracy Stroud, Marion County Assistant County Administrator. You have anything you want to throw at us? Want to yell at anybody up here? You can go right ahead. All right, thank you. All right. Moving on to old business. Rainbow Lakes Estates Boulevard entrance walls and First Median Island landscaping. Discuss terminating the lawn mowing contract for the median islands, hiring a landscape company to install annual plants around the trees on the first island and change the plants seasonally, which would be 4 times a year, as well as re-landscaping and placing perennial plants at the entrance wall entering the district. This includes the removal of all old plants and shrubs in front of the walls and on the islands, leaving only existing trees. I believe the removal of shrubs could be performed by the RLE Maintenance and Roads Department, and future mowing would also fall under their purview once the existing contract is terminated or expires. Am I correct in all that?
You are correct, yes, sir.
I practice.
All right, so I passed out an updated quote sheet. I handed out an updated quote sheet that Peter put together. For the perennials, it would still be the $402 installed. The annuals that go around all 6 trees. Now, we're estimating here, we won't really know until, we actually, anyways, around, it's about 100 annuals, and so 4 times a year would be $3,720. Pine bark mulch once a year for both the entrance and the median would be $975. And then cutting out the beds for planting around existing trees, walls, and remove the bushes, which he's got in here, $1,200. And then the irrigation, we're not sure because it's been in there for such a long time. Not sure if it would need some maintenance, so he did put that in there as a buffer just in case you guys are, so that way the board is aware that it's $2,500. And so the estimated installation and initial cost would be around $8,900. That $8,900 also includes the 4 plantings for the entire year. Right. And then after that, the annual maintenance would be around $4,800.
Right. And we would be saving, $5,000 by letting the contract for the lawn mowing expire?
$750 a month, so yes, sir.
What is that?
$750 a month
Okay.
is what we would be saving once the contract expires in May.
In May?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Questions, concerns, remarks?
No, I'm good, thank you, Chad. I mean, this is like the 3rd iteration of this that you've been put together.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Looking through the perennials that Chad looked through, they bloom in spring and summer, and a couple of them bloom in the fall. So perennials would bloom 3 times. If we had a mixture of perennials, we could have flowers 3 times during the year. And I'm pretty sure there's something that's flowering in the wintertime because I haven't looked it up, but I still think perennials would be the better way to go instead of pulling up plants 4 times a year and putting new plants in. And the difference between $402 and $3,720 is significant.
Well, wait, no. The 3,720 is the initial cost. That's the initial.
Okay, so how much is it?
Oh, no, I see what you're saying. 3720 annual per year, but that's on.
For plantings.
Right, and that would be
$3,720.
on the second year. The first year is already included in the initial. Right?
The first year of planting
Mm-hmm.
annuals is including it?
No,
is
they're
included
all
in the
perennials.
initial. So what would how much would it be the second year of planting?
No, that's what I'm saying though. Maybe I missed your question. Or you-
Okay, I misunderstood, I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, because he's already got the perennials in here, that's what you wanted, right?
Mhm.
All right, but the initial planting is 3720, and then per year after that to change them out would be 3720, but that would be starting in the second year.
It would still be $37.20 a year. $37.20 the first year, $37.20 the second.
The second year would be where it started, the annualized.
Correct, the $8,900 includes the first year of planting the annuals.
Right.
Okay, but it says annuals, 6 trees, 100 annuals times 4 plantings is $3,720. So that's how much it's gonna cost the first year, how much it's gonna cost the second year, how much it's gonna cost every year after.
Right, it'll cost you $4,800 every year after. That includes refreshing the mulch and the four plantings of the annuals.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, I understand that.
Oh,
I don't know what you were talking about.
I thought that you were saying that it was going to double up because the 3720 is included in the initial. That's all. That's what I
the
was
first
saying.
year.
Right.
Okay, it's still $37.20 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And putting perennials in would cost $402, and then they would keep growing. You wouldn't have to replace them every year, 4 times a year. Perennials grow every year. They regrow. You don't have to replant them unless something dies. Then that would,
And you're still going to have maintenance on them.
yeah. Well, you have to have maintenance on annuals too. You have to water them. You have to fertilize them.
They would, however, die if we had a frost or something,
Yeah, but annuals die too. So
Yeah, but I think if we went with perennials, with annuals, I think if they die, they would replace them. Am I correct, Chad?
What was that?
If we go with the annuals and they die off, they would have to replace them at their own expense.
If the annuals die off?
Yeah. If any of the plants die, who's responsible for that?
I'm sorry, so if the annuals, they've got to be changed out 4 times a year.
Right.
Are you
he's
saying?
saying like if
But
there's
if, for
frost and
instance,
they all die.
if we got a frost that came in or something,
That's a good question. I'm assuming we would have to replace them.
That's what I would think.
we would.
It's an act of God, yeah, we would have to replace them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this 2,500 for the irrigation, that may not be a required number.
Correct. If we get in there and the irrigation is okay, or it may need some adjustments, but 2,500 is what he's putting in there as a buffer in case we have to totally rehaul the irrigation system in there.
But that's just irrigation at the first
First
part of the
median.
median and the second, and the end of the median, right?
The whole first median when you pull into RLE.
Oh, okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
That's the only place there's irrigation. Yeah.
Correct, yes, sir.
So what does this board want to do? What direction do you want to cancel the mowing contract and go with this, or do you want to?
If our people are capable of mowing the grass I don't know, I don't have a problem.
What's that?
If our people are capable of mowing grass on a regular basis.
I believe they're mowing it every
Yeah,
other
so
week.
that's-
They're
that's
mowing
not
in
a problem.
between, so we're spending, $5,000 on absolutely
And
nothing.
nothing, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I like the proposal that he presented this evening.
Well, then I think we should bring this to a vote that would include, the motion should include determination or it'll expire, not renewing the contract for the lawn mowing and going with the proposal as written, if that's what you all want to do. I'll need a motion, a second, then we'll go with a vote if that's
And
what
I
you
will
want to
make
do.
that motion.
So let's hear
And
the
I will
motion.
second.
Okay.
Can we vote on whether to go with annuals or perennials?
I think we're just voting on this house. It's,
Mr. Chairman,
With annual, perennials?
yes, so loud. He actually has to say the motion.
I know, Dan, you have to say the motion.
Okay, I make a motion to accept this as the accepted contract or proposal.
And to not,
And not to renew the contract. Thank you. Thank you.
okay.
And I second that too.
All right, so I'm calling for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
With perennials?
Yeah, it's just the way it's written.
Aye.
You're in favor or opposed?
I'm in favor of going with the contract with perennials.
No, we were voting on it as it is, without, with the changing 4 times a year.
What do you mean as it is? All he's talking about is perennials here. He doesn't have any annuals here.
Right, I didn't include pictures of the annuals because it would be based on whatever they were recommending. I just put some pictures here of the perennials that we would be using at the walls.
And he has a perennial price and an annual price, so we have to decide which one we're going with. We can't go with what he's presented us because he's presented both.
So
He doesn't have a perennial price here, do you?
there is a perennial price in there, $402, but that's because the board had wanted perennials at the entrance.
walls, but we don't have a perennial price on the islands.
Correct.
Correct.
The annuals are for the island.
So basically, we're voting on this as it's written, which would mean perennials at the wall and annuals changing 4 times a year around the trees.
Okay, then I vote no.
Okay, all right. So I've got 3 yeas, 1 no, motion that carries.
Okay, and for the board's information, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go out and get 3 official quotes, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
All right, thank you, thanks. Okay. Okay, 6B, clubhouse renovations, the progress report on renovations. Mr. Chad Wicker.
We currently, it is with the engineer, they are drafting up our final plans for review, and then I can present those plans to the board, and we'll use those plans to go out and do an official quote for the work. But right now, the engineering plans are currently being drafted. So we had the guy come out and do the measurements, I think, what was it, last month? And this month they're working on the plans, so.
Okay, any time frame?
I can get one for you. I didn't get one before this meeting.
Okay.
So
I really want to see this thing get up and moving again.
you and me both. Yes, sir.
I'm hoping by the spring. All right, anybody else concerning that? Item 6C, the Rainbow Lakes Estates 5-year plan workshop. Our 5-year plan workshop for our district was held earlier today. Do any board members have anything they would like to discuss or add concerning this point, this plan? And that includes any guests. Anybody want to add anything from today's meeting?
Okay, we had some good discussions, a lot of good ideas brought up. The process for doing this is, it's gonna be a long one, and it's gonna be an ongoing process. We're gonna be modifying it year by year. The things that we wanted to get started first, of course, the clubhouse. The clubhouse needs major work. Asbestos abatement. It has to have ceiling repaired. It needed a lot of work. It had been let go too long. And some of the other things were the Creative Arts Center, looking at doing some work there. It needs paint and needs, various other things that need to be fixed. But I think it went very well. I think the chairman would agree that it went well, and it's a good thing that we're getting in the process, because if you don't plan to fail, or if you don't plan, you plan to fail. If you don't take care of these problems, plan to fix problems before they get to be a problem, it's just a fool's errand, and it's a waste of taxpayers' money and quite frankly everybody's time. So I think it was a worthwhile thing, and I want to keep it going.
Okay, thank you. Today it was just a workshop, and Tracy, could you maybe explain what you are doing with the ideas and suggestions that everybody, combined, put together? I believe this is coming back here about January or February, but if you could explain to everybody out there.
Yes, sir, Chair. So Tracy Straub, Assistant County Administrator that works with the Municipal Services team. So with your workshop this afternoon, we went over your funding sources, and we went over some of the programs that you already have established, whether it's your road overlays and those types of programs. We and then identified a wish list of things that you all have talked about over the last maybe year or so, and we put those on a board, and we let the board help us identify what some of those priorities were. And it became clear that whether we like it or not, as responsible property owners, there are some maintenance items that have to be tended to. So it was agreed first and foremost that we are going to have a proper building inspector come in and do a quick analysis of your key buildings, because it looks like you might need a new roof, and we have to pay for a new roof. So we'll identify some of those much needed maintenance items, and then we identified that you had some facilities that you wanted to do some renovation on to get better use out of them, whether it was and help with the arts. Creative Arts building. We identified that you wanted to look at a way to fund to have an additional staff person available on weekends to add revenue for rentals and different recreational types of activities. We identified that your horseshoe and shuffleboard area, you'd like to renovate that and tread out some of the horseshoe pits for some cornhole pits. So cornhole, they're not pits. We'll take a look at that, the cost to provide those services. We identified where that basketball court that you all have identified needing to have some fencing around it, that would get incorporated into that same effort there. And so we're going to identify those higher level priorities that were flagged during the conversations, and but everything stays on the list of interest. And we'll look at what does it take to fund them over a 5-year plan, with the idea being that once you get this 5-year plan established, we will get some funding identified we'll do some estimating on all of these so that you can program in your 5 years. And then knowing that sometimes there's some low-hanging fruit we talked about that you'll be able to easily grab and accomplish for a very small dollar amount. Some things you need to plan and prioritize over a longer period of time. But we would build them into a 5-year plan, and each year we would look to hopefully have you adopt a 5-year plan, that it just becomes a rolling new year, that as one project drops off, a new project adds into year 6, and that we don't try to mess around a whole lot once we get this master plan figured out, with the exception of major maintenance that might pop up or catastrophe that could occur, tree coming through a building. We get you kind of on schedule with knowing that your 1 and 2 year outcomes are really big priorities. Your 3 and 4 year items, 5-year items, they start to just shuffle in a little bit to fit the dollar amounts that you have available, and we just keep that rolling for you, and you just keep building on your programs like that. that's the plan, so we're gonna have that back to you all, in a more finalized format that you can see it, read it, regurgitate on it a little bit, and give that to you at the beginning of the next calendar year.
All right. Thank you. And I appreciate all your help today in coming out here.
I enjoyed being with y'all.
I thank you very much.
Thank you so
Appreciate your
much.
time.
All right. Moving on, new business. Do any board members have any new business they would like to discuss? And mum is a word. Oh, wait, the chair has new business.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, did you pay the heat bill?
Could I what?
Did you pay the heat bill? It's a little chilly.
Okay. I'm putting this under new business. The Rainbow Lakes Estates rental rates and fees and rates on our buildings, facilities, organizations, and clubs. As we are aware, the rental rates on all RLE facilities have come to a virtual standstill. I believe it is time to discuss and adjust fees accordingly so that we can renew interest in rentals and create much needed revenue. We should also discuss current organizations and club fees. If Mrs. Bakuza could supply all the current information to the board members soon, it would be greatly appreciated. Tiffany, if you would place this on the agenda for a November meeting, I would appreciate it. Okay, and that's my new business. Okay, prior meeting updates. Anybody have anything? Nope.
No, sir.
All right, we're gonna go to general public comment, and we have
Tom Wilson?
Don Wilson,
Could
4350
you turn that microphone on?
Southwest Clearwater Court.
No, the microphone I think is off.
Oh, there you
You
go.
got it.
There you go.
And I realize that the storm shelter is going to be out, but relief could be needed in the event of a power outage. I'm inquiring into using the clubhouse or whatever we want to as a relief center. It's offering water and a cool atmosphere. And that's just what the procedure would be to be able to do such a thing.
All right, thanks. Okay, anybody, comments? Thank you.
No, I think he's got a good idea. We can't use it as a shelter facility, but after the storm has occurred, absolutely, we could look at it.
And I agree with that. I mentioned that before, and I think
Yeah.
that's something that we should discuss.
Exactly.
At least people could go with air conditioning, we could probably supply some water or something,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah, I had brought up, trying to use this building as a shelter, and unfortunately, there's, the amount of work and expense that would be involved, and the liability to the county is just, it's prohibitive. So that's not gonna happen. But as far as using the clubhouse for this purpose, or for a purpose of after shelter, after this disaster shelter, that would be very good to put it in the clubhouse, because that does have an approved generator already, and we just have to do some work. Is our water potable here, Pam?
The well is also hooked up to the generator.
Okay.
Perfect.
But is the water potable? Is it drinkable?
Yes.
Yes.
Can't use the fountain over here.
Yeah.
It is drinkable, okay.
Yes, yes,
The generator is only on the clubhouse.
yes,
It is
sir.
not on this building.
No, sir.
Okay, that's different altogether. Okay, great.
Mrs. Strout, are we able to designate the clubhouse as a relief center after a hurricane or something?
I believe you absolutely could do that. As we talked about during the workshop, becoming a shelter has a lot of restrictions and liabilities put on it. But being the community that you are and opening up your community facilities to be able to provide the respite that you were just speaking of, you absolutely should do that. And that's what communities and neighborhoods do.
Excellent.
All right, would you guys like to have this added to the agenda for next month and discuss
Yeah.
this?
Yes, please.
Yeah, because I'd like to discuss all the nitty gritty details behind
All
it.
right, I think it's something that would be important, and thank you.
I think
Yes.
staff for you could draft up a short policy on that, because you'd want to have some identifying measures and marks for you to follow, and and they can show you that draft and we can take it through legal and make sure that we're comfortable. But that's not a really arduous task. That would give you just a policy and a guideline of when do we get going? How do we come that all clear? How do we start that action?
That would be great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to come up and say? I know nobody signed up. Oh, you. Hi, Omar. How are you?
All right.
Name and address.
Yes, sir. Omar Rodriguez, 4535 Southwest Driftwood Court, as of tonight. I talked to the lieutenant, because, I mean, we all have boats in this community, all kinds of different trailers. When she said the trend about trailers disappearing, that kind of worried me a little bit. She specified there were cargo and small utility trailers. That's the trend. That's what seems to be disappearing right now. And I want to make sure the community understands that, you know, my boat trailer, my RV trailer, all those things that a lot of them have here, they're safe. Utility trailers, small trailers, cargo trailers, that seems to be growing legs right now.
All right. Thank you for that detail. Omar, you have an application in for the advisory board, correct?
Yes, sir.
Hopefully, you can get a position on the board because we have a vacancy.
Yes, yes, you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I'm going to close the public comment portion and we go to announcements. Do any board members have anything or guests have anything they'd like to add? Oh, you're all quiet today. Friday, October 25th from 5
One moment, Chairman, 1 moment.
Oh,
He had already mentioned it, I just wanted to mention that there is a vacancy on the RLE board, if anyone is interested in applying for it, it's gonna be advertised here in the next few weeks.
oh, okay. Thank you. What, they'll be advertising it when?
The next few weeks.
The commission's office is putting it together now to advertise it, so it should be in the next week or two. I can definitely shoot the board an email, let you know when it's been
They
advertised.
advertise it once and then it goes, is there a time limit that, God, I filled these out so long ago. Once you advertise it, do they have a deadline to apply?
They do have a deadline to apply, and it states it on the advertisement. I don't have it in front of me, but I can get you that information for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if you apply for it and it's on file, the board will reach out. I mean, the commissioner's office will reach out to that applicant to see if they want to put it in.
Well, there's a possibility you could be on the board by our November meeting.
Possible, yes, sir.
Cross your fingers, you'll be thrilled. Okay, moving on. Friday, October 25th from 5 to 9 p.m. is our Ghost, Ghouls, and Goblins Halloween party held at the Rainbow Lakes Estates Youth Center. This is a must-attend event for children and families. Volunteers are desperately needed, so to volunteer, please contact Robert Howard in our Recreation Department. Our annual Fall Crafts Festival will be held Saturday, November 9th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and will be held in our Community Center complex. Sign up in advance to reserve your space by contacting the district office again. Again this year, the RLE Advisory Board will have a table and be available to answer questions and address concerns from residents. This is a wonderful event and I hope to see everyone there. The annual Holly Jolly Christmas Party is Saturday, December 14th from 10 a.m. until noon, hosted right here in the RLE Community Center. Come visit Santa and have some fun with the entire family. Our next advisory board meeting will be held on Thursday, November 21st, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. right here in the Community Center. I thank everybody for attending and look forward to seeing you next month. Meeting is adjourned.